Pisces is the 12th and final sign of the zodiac, traditionally ruled by Jupiter, and in modern astrology by Neptune. It is associated with the element water, which symbolically links it to intuition, sensitivity, and introspection. Throughout history, Pisces has been considered a sign of great spirituality, imagination, and empathy, characteristics that today can be analyzed from the perspective of psychology, neuroscience, and genetics. From a psychological point of view, the traits commonly attributed to Pisces can be analyzed through contemporary models of personality, such as the Big Five model. Pisces is often described as imaginative and creative, which coincides with a high openness to experience. Studies in psychology have shown that people with high levels of this characteristic tend to be more artistic, thoughtful, and receptive to new ideas. Their tendency towards compassion and empathy correlates with a high level of kindness. Neuroscience research has linked this quality to increased activity in the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, which is associated with emotional decision-making and empathy. Some Pisces traits, such as extreme sensitivity and a tendency toward melancholy, can be associated with elevated levels of neuroticism, which involves a greater emotional response to stress. From a behavioral standpoint, Pisces is described as a sign with a strong tendency toward daydreaming and fantasy. This can be explained through studies on the default mode network, DMN, a set of brain regions that are activated when the mind is at rest and wandering. People with greater activity in this network have been found to have a stronger inclination toward imagination and creativity. While traditional astrology suggests that personality is determined by the zodiac sign, science has shown that personality traits have a genetic and environmental basis. Studies of twins have found that between 40% and 60% of personality differences can be attributed to genetics. Genes that affect the regulation of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin can influence traits commonly associated with Pisces, such as emotional sensitivity and creativity. For example, the DRD4 gene, related to dopamine, has been associated with creativity and exploring new experiences, characteristics that fit the imaginative personality of Pisces. The 5ATR gene, which regulates serotonin, has been linked to greater emotional reactivity and sensitivity, which could explain Pisces' tendency toward empathy and introspection. Astrology associates Pisces with intuition and creativity, which can be analyzed from neuroscience. Neuroimaging studies have shown that intuitive processes involve the activation of the anterior cingulate cortex I and the insular cortex G, regions responsible for pattern detection and decision-making based on subconscious experience. On the other hand, creativity has been linked to greater connectivity between the brain hemispheres. Pisces, being a sign related to imagination, could reflect a tendency to activate these connections, favoring the free association of ideas and the generation of innovative thoughts. While astrology considers that the position of the planets influences personality, astronomy has shown that the gravity of the planets has no measurable effect on human behavior. The constellation of Pisces has changed position in the last 2,000 years, due to the phenomenon of the G precession of the equinoxes. This means that the dates assigned to the zodiac signs no longer coincide with the actual position of the constellations. Modern astrology associates Pisces with Neptune, discovered in 1846. However, there is no scientific evidence that the position of Neptune at the time of birth has any impact on personality. From an astrophysics perspective, Pisces is a constellation of great interest. It is home to several galaxies and galaxy clusters, such as ONC 3 and Chi3, an elliptical galaxy with a powerful active nucleus. It is also part of the Pisces stream, a star structure believed to be the remnant of a dwarf galaxy absorbed by the Milky Way.